your first quick take as the WEF conference has started, what are you really picking up in terms of the business mood within the Indian delegation and perhaps all over?
I think, I attended few sessions, met few people. Clearly, from the timing perspective, I would say this is a great time from a weather point of view. From a business perspective, I would think India is at a great position. As you talk to people, everyone is under pressure, seems to be all over the world.
Aren't we under pressure due to inflation?
I think, that's part of your business decision. But India is a growing opportunity.
So you agree with the RBI's business decision of hiking interest rates?
I don't have a complaint about it.
Okay.
I think
it won't hit your business, won't hit rural consumers.
Let's be fair, right? I mean, they have helped us for a very long time, and the time has come where the consumers have to pick up something. But what is the consumer looking for? If his business gets going, he's doing well, he doesn't mind accommodating this cost. I think the problem, the way we have to see it is, when the going is tough and you're bringing these kind of tough measures, it becomes a very big burden on the consumer. So RBI or any decision from the government has helped during that difficult time. Now things are changing. Consumers are back to normalcy. People are earning well. I'm sure their revenues will start growing. I'm sure they'll be more than willing to accommodate.
That's a very interesting take, Ramesh, because one would have imagined that 2 years of the pandemic, the slowdown and what happened to the commercial vehicle business, for example, or across the entire segment that you have a concentration on. And we were hoping that there would be a pickup infra and other businesses. And suddenly you have now the RBI making it clear that interest rates are going to go back up. Isn't that a risk?
I mean, you look at what is the interest increase we are all talking. Let's say a 50 basis point increase has to be accommodated in the system. And look at the asset that
to reach pre-COVID, you have to accommodate 125 basis points.
At least to start with, it's now 50 basis points.
Okay.
So let's look at that. If the asset cost is 10 lakh of rupee, what's that 50 basis point on the 10 lakh of rupee? Is that the decision on which somebody is going to decide to buy or not buy? I think if you're already...
Does this apply equally, sorry to interrupt you, equally to the SME space as well, which is obviously more exposed to cost pressures?
I think my take on this is all of us have to become super efficient, and we have to save this 50 basis point in some other cost. We somehow think which is more publicly discussed as an item that we think hurts us, but there are a lot of internal costs that even the organizations have to focus on.
Electric two-wheeler scooters, kyun jal rahe hain? Why are they catching fire? Explain this. This is not a question to you. I mean, it's bothering people. Aag lag rahi hai, logon ki bhi jaan gayi hai. What's happening?
See, honestly, I can't answer this on behalf of the OEMs.
No, like I said, not on behalf of them, but generally.
Yeah. So, probably are we little faster to put it in the market for sales before it has been fully tested for its correctness? I don't have an answer, but look at it from a consumer point of view. There are two angles to this. One is, they buy this with their hard-earned money, and whether they should lose an asset like this and then wait for,
and in some cases not get claims because claims are being turned down
to be coming in, not coming in. One has to see. The other side is, of course, the health hazard, and related to that, the confidence issue, right? So once you see this happen more often, then people will move away from whether to buy or not to buy kind of a situation. My personal opinion on this, though, is that there has to be a lot of communication that has to come out to say why this happened and what actions are being taken for this not to repeat.
But Ramesh, why only communications? Let me ask you a direct question. In the traditional automotive segment, India has one of the toughest systems of quality checks, homologation, imported vehicles. I don't even want to get into it. Why isn't there a regulatory architecture for these vehicles, or am I wrong in even asking this question? Shouldn't the government have thought of this before?
I think they would have thought through, and I'm sure more regulations may come in as well. But ultimately, the fact is that the safety of people buying is never going to be of any less priority for anybody.
As a leading financer, what do you see happening as far as the electric vehicle space is concerned? Again, this is a broader macro question. From a pricing point of view, do you see an inflection point coming anytime soon?
So very clearly, it will come in, but I still think in the auto industry, when somebody is going to buy a vehicle, some of the first question they are asking is what is the likely resale price at the end of 3 years. They're still looking at what is the resale price at the end of 3 years, and therefore all the new introductions, electric vehicle, etc. Again, I'll go back to the same thought of communication. It has to be a very collaborative approach from the OEMs, from the distributor, and from the financiers together to say that, okay, how will we protect the resale price at the end of 3 years? Because that's not established yet, and it will take time to establish. Because cost of operation is well established, right? Cost of operating this vehicle is going to be much lower than operating any other fuel vehicle. So having said that, people will ask this end question to say, okay, I'm buying into something. What will be the resale price of this vehicle? Or what will be the longevity of this vehicle? Okay, can I use it for ever with no resale?